Thank you.
Okay, I'd like to call to order the Cuyahoga County Council regular meeting of Tuesday, May the 27th, 2014. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll?
Calling the roll, Mr. Jones. Here. Mr. Hairston. Here. Ms. Simon. Here. Mr. Greenspan. Here. Mr. Miller. Here. Mr. Brady. Mr. Brady is absent this evening. Mr. Germana. Here. Mr. Gallagher. Here. Mr. Schron. Here. Ms. Conwell.
Here.
And Ms. Conley. Here. There is a quorum.
Brady is unavailable this evening. I'd like to entertain a motion to have his absence marked as excused. Moved by Mr. Schron and seconded by Ms. Conwell. Any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Please rise for a Pledge of Allegiance. Our Pledge of Allegiance will be led this evening by Brandon McGee, and we'll introduce him a little bit later. Okay, you're on.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For our silent meditation this evening, I'd like to remember the victims and families of the shootings in Santa Barbara. I'd also like to reflect on the victims of the shooting over at 123rd in Tuscarora, and also Memorial Day, that in memory of all the men and women who have served our countries in all our various wars. All right, moving on to item 5, a public comment related to the agenda. I believe there is one person that signed in.
Yes, Madam Chair. Reverend Pamela Pinckney Butts has signed in.
Good evening, Cuyahoga County Council President Conley and the council, full council. I have walked in mine integrity. And I come to you this evening because I've come to you on other occasions, addressing matters where my safety is compromised and at risk, as well as my files being compromised. I'm very concerned about this, and I'm not certain what the Imperial Avenue women did when they cried out for help. I'm not sure of what Michelle Knight and Gina DeJesus did when they cried out for help. I'm not sure of what the Bessemer women did when they cried out for help, but I know they did. And I know that I've been crying out for help for a long time. I brought with me this evening some documents to verify and substantiate the factors that I've been bringing to you, Councilwoman Conley, in reference to my safety. And since the first time I made mention of safety factors, someone has been in my home again, and they locked my back door so I couldn't exit and went out of the front door. Your sheriff deputy's solution to this situation was to put my picture on flyers to make me look like some type of fugitive or criminal instead of addressing this matter. I'm concerned, and what I like to be done about this is I would like to have this thoroughly, truly investigated. I've gone to the FBI and I've gone to other entities in reference to this, and I even had one of your staff members challenge me and tell me that I was not telling the truth when I made mention of my ballots missing in the electoral process when I voted. Because they said they were working there at the time, and as if they were questioning my credibility. I have too much at stake, and the mere fact that I have my granddaughter here, because no one wants to hear me, and when I do things in terms of preaching as well as other things, people don't want to hear what I have to say because some of the staff from Cuyahoga County tried to label me as mentally ill instead of seeing that I've been being mentally abused, physically abused, verbally abused, and financially abused. I ask that you would put this on your agenda somewhere, because I don't want anyone else to fall through the cracks as the cracks as I have done. I ask that you would put this on your agenda for a list of on your list of things to do, because this is very serious. This is very, very serious, and it's not only in Cuyahoga County. This matter is also affected in Marion County, Indiana, Howard County, Maryland, Summit County, Ohio, Montgomery County, Ohio, and many other places. I take it very seriously that my life is at risk, and I'm asking you to please look into it. And when we leave the room, I apologize for going over. When we leave the room, the people who meet me in the back, they see me here at this room, and they may see me one time or make a phone call to me, and then the ball drops. I'm not a liar, and I'm very serious and very concerned about my safety and the safety of my family. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pinckney. Moving on to item 6, the approval of the minutes. The minutes from the May 13, 2014 Committee of the Whole are in your items, along with the minutes of May 13, 2014. Is there a motion to adopt those minutes as circulated?
So move.
Moved by Mr. Schron and seconded by Mr. Greenspan. Any discussion on the minutes? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. The minutes are approved. We also have a motion here. I'm going to work with Jean to make sure I get this right. We have a motion pursuant to Rule 6B, a parliamentary motion to add Resolution R 2014 0148, and what is the other name of it, Jean?
Resolution 2014-0125.
So these are two walk-on items to add additional items to the agenda. And they will be added after item 10B7, is that correct? And 10B8?
Yes, and 10D.
Okay, is there a motion pursuant to Rule 6B? Moved by Mr. Miller and seconded by Ms. Simon. All right, any discussion to add those matters to the agenda?
Are you bringing those up as separate items?
No, I had added them together. Would you like to bifurcate them?
I would, please.
Okay. Let's then go with the first item. Let's make a motion. Mr. Miller, will you withdraw your motion?
Yes, I withdraw my motion.
And withdraw your second, Ms. Simon? Yes, okay, so let's make a motion. Mr. Miller, will you amend your motion then to make it for Rule 6B, to make it just for 2014 0148, to add that onto the agenda?
I move to add Resolution 2014-0148 onto tonight's agenda.
All right, seconded by Mr. Germana. Any discussion on adding that item on? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. That matter is added on. Now, we need another motion pursuant to 6B to add on. And Jean, will you help me and give me the right numbers for that one?
Yes, that would be adding resolution number 2014-0125. You should have copies of that already from the Committee of the Whole agenda to the agenda as an additional item under number 10D for second reading adoption under suspension of rules.
Okay, is there a motion to that effect? Moved by Ms. Simon and seconded by Mr. Gallagher. All right, any discussion on that item? All right, do you want the roll call?
It's fine to have it just voice vote.
Okay. All right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Okay, I mark Mr. Schron as a no. All right, so the motion carries, so the agenda is amended. All right, moving on to item 7. I'm going to defer to Ms. Simon for an item under public announcements.
Thank you, Madam President. Tonight I have a special guest, Brandon McGee, who's here, who I met at the Maltz Museum Stop the Hate Essay and Scholarship Contest. And I don't know if all of you know about that contest, but the Maltz Museum established the contest 6 years ago to give students an ability to write about what their experiences had been in terms of being discriminated against for certain different reasons. And the contest has grown so much in 6 years. I think there were over 3,600 essay entries this year. And Brian was a finalist. He was a winner in his category. And I thought I wanted to share part of his essay tonight and really just allow the council to know about this opportunity for people in their district when the essay contest comes around again to let their residents know. But with that, I'd like Brandon to come up to the podium. Just so everybody knows, Brandon is a 12th grade high school student. And Brandon's due to graduate on June 5th, and he is going to be attending Princeton. So, and he's wants to be a lawyer and a politician.
Nice schools in Ohio. You don't want to go to school in Ohio?
So, Brandon, if you would, I'd like you to read a little bit of your essay and then talk about what you've done at Brush.
I remember being a freshman and an African-American senior yelling at me, "Man, you should stop raising your hand so much and let the white kids answer the questions." Initially, I felt insecure about my own intelligence and questioned if I was indeed smart enough to continuously raise my hand. I felt prejudged that I could not be as smart as the white students, and it was somehow wrong to try. Why is white synonymous with success and black with failure? I asked myself. I could not understand why someone within my own black community would set a lower standard of expectations and reinforce the practices of discrimination and stereotype that black students cannot excel in academics. To find clarity, I spoke with my peers and also with some elders. In doing so, I realized that some people heard the word discrimination and automatically thought of actions committed by those of outside races and groups. I also found that some people believe the election of an African American president ended a lot of discrimination. However, discrimination and self-hate still occurs within our own black community when we expect and accept mediocrity by perpetuating stereotypes. So essentially, I had this problem that I encountered, and it really bothered me throughout my entire high school career. Well, mainly my freshman year and my sophomore year. And it was towards the end of my sophomore year where I went to a conference on diversity, and a teacher and another student, we came together and we decided that we had to collaborate, and we decided that we would create a diversity group in our school by the name of CARE. So therefore, I am the co-founder of Cultural Awareness, Race and Equality in my school. And so in this group, we have meetings and we talk about different topics that deal with diversity. My favorite meeting that I planned was the Silent Gallery Walk, where we have different students write down all these racist jokes and phrases that they write these down on a big piece of paper, and we hang them across the room, and people walk through the gallery, it's silent, and they write down on Post-it notes their comments, and you get to see how everybody feels about the different things that are being said. And some of these things are really offensive, but that's what CARE is all about, being able to talk about the topics that some people feel are too difficult to talk about or too, they don't want to talk about them, but that's what CARE is all about, and that's why I had to create it in my school. So
with that, I have a proclamation from Brandon, and I want to give you this on behalf of our council, and you can read it. I'm not going to read it, but this is for your essay and Stop the Hate and from our council.
thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Brandon. You have a really nice voice. So, you have to think about he has this sort of James Earl Jones voice. So if you don't make it as a lawyer, you can make it, with your voice.
Brandon wants to be a politician, so he's up and coming in my district.
Hey, congratulations. All right, announcements. We have to have one announcement to start with, and we have to get through with this meeting quickly because this is Mr. Gallagher's wedding anniversary. And so we have to get him out of here. So he's still married tomorrow. And I do have one sad announcement to make. Our deputy clerk, Nikki Mueller, has been with us since, has given us notice that on Tuesday, June the 10th will be her last day. As some of you know, her husband has had some health problems, and she's going to be moving back to New Jersey. And she has secured a job as the clerk of the township of Mount Holly, New Jersey. And I was actually talking to her before the meeting. It's a smaller council. I was like, she may beg to come back here. Because with smaller council can be more friction, but we really appreciate her knowledge and understanding. She's really made an effort to create the job that she has. She'll be sorely missed, and we really wish her well because she's got a lot of challenges ahead of her in her move. But we certainly appreciate your service, and we wish you and Dave the best, and we'll be looking forward to hearing from you and keeping you in our thoughts and prayers. And I also like to introduce Joan Colleran, who stand up. She's going to be with us for 2 weeks. She goes to Laurel School. She's a sophomore in Laurel School in Shaker Heights, and she's participating in a program called May Term that offers opportunities for students to involve in student activities with Laurel. Laurel's circular philosophy of experimental, multidiscipline, community-based learning while exploring a field of interest. Joan has a strong interest in politics and public service, and she chose to shadow Cuyahoga County Council in connection with Councilman Gallagher, and after she does this for probably 2 weeks, she'll probably end up going to medical school or something. But we look forward to having her here, and if council has any little small projects for her, we can give her some things to do. So thank you for coming down. And that concludes my special announcements for this evening. Mr. Fitzgerald.
Thank you very much. Madam President, I just received a text from Mrs. Gallagher. She said, take your time.
Oh, okay.
Much time is needed. I want to echo what you said about Memorial Day. It was my pleasure and privilege to represent the county at a ceremony that was done by the Fleet Reserve Association at the USS Cod. They help, and the association there helps maintain it, and it's also become quite a destination for those types of events. And so I conveyed the county's best wishes on everyone's behalf here. Also had a great event earlier today. We officially were launching our college savings account program. So 10,000, more than 10,000 packets are being mailed out. So you are going to be hearing from your constituents that are the parents of kindergartners. We had a great event at a local CMSD school where we met with some of the kids, the kindergartners, and just to see kind of their excitement and optimism about their future, and the program was really something special. There's a lot of thanks, both Ken Surratt, the leader of our team here, and also the folks from Key Bank, from ESC, Bob Mendrink, who runs as you probably know, runs the vocational system that covers all of Cuyahoga County. It was really a team effort, and we are already hearing anecdotally from teachers that this is going to be a great aid to them, both in inspiring their students and also in reinforcing the fiscal literacy that is so important. Finally, I just want to note, I know there was some news coverage about it last week, but I just wanted to reiterate with the decision of both the Republican National Committee and the Democratic National Committee. We are the only city in America that is a finalist for both of those conventions. The only one in the country. So it's down to 4 on the Republican side, and I think it's still at 14 at this point, but only a limited number of cities were invited on the Democratic side in the first place. So there were a number of cities that applied for both originally, but we're the only one. We've never been at this point before in the history of this, at least the modern history of this city. We have been a competitor for one or the other, but it's the only time where we're literally, I can tell you with the steering committee, between the city of Cleveland and ourselves and the folks from the Greater Cleveland Partnership and the business community that have come together on this, we're literally having to make tough decisions about what happens if we continue to be a finalist for both of them. And that's a very good position to be in. It's also, whether we get either of them, I will tell you, I can tell everybody on council, it has been an important exercise because it's allowed us to kind of take stock of our ability now to market the greater Cleveland area as a convention destination. And it's working out well, just all the assets coming together from from the convention center to the new hotel to all the other assets that are downtown. And it's working well because the folks from out of town that are looking at this are very, very much impressed. So we're very happy to see that. And I wanted to report that to you. I was also told, Councilman Sharon told me that this bright orange tie that I'm wearing is actually his campaign color. I was unaware of that. This tie will be for sale after this meeting as soon as this meeting is over if anyone wants it. But thank you very much, Madam President.
Okay, thank you. And I actually attended a really nice service at Lakeview Cemetery, which they have every year in front of the Garfield Monument. And someone was there from the Veterans Service Commission with a flag, and it was very impressive. And of course, somebody ordered a beautiful weather day for us, so we were really lucky this year. I know all the Memorial Days I've been out with the snow and the cold, but we had a beautiful weekend, so that was a big plus. So the people from the conventions need to see our beautiful weather like it was over the weekend. All right, let's go on to item 9, legislation introduced by council. Consideration of a resolution of council for first reading and referral to committee.
Resolution number 2014-0138, a resolution confirming the county executive's reappointment of Thomas M. McDonald to serve on the Metro Health System Board of Trustees for the term May 27, 2014 through March 31, 2020, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Mayor goes to Human Resources. Consideration of a resolution of council for third reading adoption.
Resolution number 2014-0108, a resolution amending the 2014-2015 biennial operating budget for 2014 by providing for an additional fiscal appropriation in order to meet the budgetary needs of a county department and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Move to adopt.
Moved by Mr. Miller and seconded by Ms. Conwell. Is this an item that we pulled off the agenda? Or, Mr. Miller?
It is not.
Okay.
This is an item, if I might speak on it
Go
for a
ahead.
moment, that was initiated out of the council. It provides $104,000 to the Hearing and Speech Center to enable continuation of their program to assist low-income people in obtaining hearing aids. Our intent is to provide a similar amount for next year in the 2015 update. This program also has economic development impact, enabling people to work who otherwise would not be able. I ask for your support.
All right, any discussion on this matter? All right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Matter is adopted. All right, item C, consideration of ordinance of council for first reading and referral to committee.
Ordinance number 2014-0016, an ordinance amending section 106.06 of the Cuyahoga County Code to establish copying costs for public records.
This matter will go to Mr. Greenspan's Committee Court Operations.
Ordinance number 2014-0017, an ordinance enacting Chapter 604 of the Cuyahoga County Code to provide for the maintenance of county roads and declaring the necessity that this ordinance become immediately effective.
Goes to Public Works. Committee reports and consideration of ordinance of council for second reading. Madam Clerk.
Ordinance number 2014-0010, an ordinance amending section 205.06 of the Cuyahoga County Code to incorporate changes to the composition and compensation of the Cuyahoga County Department Review Board and declaring the necessity that this ordinance become immediately effective.
This matter will go on for a third reading on June the 10th.
Ordinance number 2014-0012, an ordinance amending Chapter 701 of the Cuyahoga County Code by changing the title and by adding Section 701.02 and 701.03 to establish capital improvements and debt management policies for the county.
I'll be on for June the 10th for third reading.
Ordinance number 2014-0015, an ordinance enacting the Cuyahoga County Electronic Modernization Act by authorizing the electronic delivery and execution of legislation, contracts, and other instruments and documents.
Okay, also for June the 10th for a third reading. Item 10, legislation introduced by the executive. Consideration of resolutions for first reading adoption under suspension of the rules. We need a motion to suspend Rule 9D and 12A.
Madam President, I move to suspend the rules.
Moved by Mr. Gallagher and seconded by Mr. Jabana to suspend the rules. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Resolution number 2014-0139, a resolution amending the 2014-2015 biennial operating budget for 2014 by providing for additional fiscal appropriations from the general fund and other funding sources, for appropriation transfers between budget accounts and for cash transfers between budgetary funds in order to meet the budgetary needs of various county departments, offices, and agencies, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Move to adopt.
Moved by Mr. Miller and seconded by Ms. Conwell. I understand Mr. Miller has an amendment to this.
Madam Chair and my colleagues, while significant in size, this resolution provides routine appropriations and transfers. It includes transfers of $1.5 million within work and training to facilitate Medicaid expansion and serve those impacted by the state change in food stamp policy, and it includes our quarterly transfer to the Adams Board. I would like to move an amendment by administration request. Director Mowry would like more time to review and consider the business plan for the $4.3 million item to upgrade the county's call center. So I move to delete item AA from the resolution and to renumber subsequent items. And a copy of the amendment should be on your desks.
And it's on page 66 in the book. All right, so the motion to amend is seconded by Mr. Germana. All those in favor of the amendment indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. The item is so amended. Is there anything on the merits of the other item, the general item, the amended item, then, Mr. Miller?
I included it already.
All right. All right, all those in favor of adopting item 0139 as amended, it can indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. All right, item 0140.
Resolution number 2014-0140, resolution approving a collective bargaining agreement between Cuyahoga County and International Union of Operating Engineers, AFL-CIO, Local 18S technicians, representing approximately 4 employees in the Department of Public Works for the period January 1, 2014 through December 31, 2016, directing that funds necessary to implement the collective bargaining agreement be budgeted and appropriated, authorizing the county executive to execute the agreement and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Move to adopt?
Moved by Mr. Sharon and seconded by Ms. Conwell. Any discussion on this matter? We discussed this in executive session, and we're given all of the details, and this matter is recommended by the administration. All right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. And I will point out that this agreement is consistent with the other pattern that we've established with county employees, and the amount of money is very insignificant. Number B, consideration of resolutions for first reading and referral to committee.
Resolution number 2014-0141, a resolution providing for the submission to the electors of the County of Cuyahoga an amendment to add Article 14 to the Cuyahoga County Charter to provide that the right to vote is a fundamental right in the county, and authorize the county to take action to protect and promote the right to vote, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
This matter will be referred to the committee of the whole, and we'll set a date at some point for it.
Resolution number 2014-0142, a resolution declaring that public convenience and welfare requires resurfacing of Miles Road from Interstate 480 to 200 feet east of Green Road in the city of Bedford Heights. Total estimated project cost $330,000. Finding that special assessments will neither be levied nor collected to pay for any part of the county's cost of said improvement. Authorizing the county executive to enter into an agreement of cooperation with said municipality in connection with said project, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Goes to Public Works.
Resolution number 2014-0143, a resolution authorizing an initial project application to Ohio Department of Transportation State Infrastructure Bank for a loan in the amount not to exceed $8,016,000 for reconstruction and widening of Bagley Pleasant Valley Road from York Road to Pearl Road in the cities of Middleburg Heights and Parma, authorizing the county executive to take all necessary actions and to execute all documents necessary to consummate the contemplated transactions, authorizing the Director of Public Works to administer the project, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Goes to Public Works.
Resolution number 2014-0144, a resolution making an award on requisition number 30197 to Burton Scott Contractors in the amount not to exceed $1,129,900 for 2014 resurfacing operations Group 1 in various municipalities, authorizing the county executive to execute the contract and all other documents consistent with said award and this resolution, authorizing the county engineer on behalf of the county executive to make an application for allocation from county motor vehicle $7.50 license tax funds in said amount to fund said contract, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective for the two projects that are listed on the agenda as items 4, 1, and 2.
This goes to Public Works.
Resolution number 2014-0145, a resolution authorizing amendments to contracts with various providers for job readiness, job search, job placement, and job retention services for Ohio Works First cash assistance recipients for the period July 1, 2012 through June 30, 2014, to extend the time period to June 30, 2015, to change the scope of services effective July 1, 2014, and for additional funds, authorizing the county executive to execute the amendments and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective for the contracts, the providers, and in the amounts not to exceed as printed on the agenda, items 5, 1, and 2.
Goes to Health and Human Services.
Resolution number 2014-0146, a resolution authorizing an agreement with Educational Service Center of Cuyahoga County in the amount not to exceed $2,495,056 for fiscal agent and administrative services for the Help Me Grow Bright Beginnings program for the Invest in Children program for the period July 1, 2014 through June 30, 2016, authorizing the county executive to execute the agreement and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
This matter goes to Education, Environment, and Sustainability.
Resolution number 2014-0147, a resolution making awards on requisition number 29213 to various providers for various services for the Cuyahoga Options for Elders program for the period July 1, 2014 through December 31, 2015, authorizing the county executive to execute a master contract for each service area and all other documents consistent with said awards and this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective. And these are for the services providers and in the amounts as printed on the agenda, items 7, 1 through 5.
This matter will go to Health and Human Services.
And then reading into the record, resolution number 2014-0148, a resolution making an award on requisition number 30389 to PERC ME Joint Venture in the amount not to exceed $22,945,485.17 for grading, draining, and paving of Bagley Road, Pleasant Valley Road, from York Road to State Road in the cities of Middleburg Heights and Parma, authorizing the county executive to execute the contract and all other documents consistent with said award and this resolution, authorizing the county engineer on behalf of the county executive to make an application for allocation from county motor vehicle $5 license tax funds in the amount of $5,277,461.59 to fund said contract, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective. And this resolution is sponsored by the county executive, Department of Public Works, Division of County Engineer.
Goes to Public Works. C, committee reports and consideration of resolutions for second reading. All of these matters will be on for June the 10th.
Resolution number 2014-0135. A resolution authorizing a lease agreement with City of Broadview Heights in the amount not to exceed $30 for land for an emergency operations center and special operations facility for the period June 1, 2014 through May 31, 2044, authorizing the county executive to execute the agreement and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective. And resolution number 2014-0137, a resolution authorizing an amendment to contract number CE 1300-322 with Catholic Charities Corporation for pre-employment screening services for Ohio Works First applicants for the period July 1, 2013 through June 30, 2014, to extend the time period to June 30, 2015, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $523,100. Authorizing the county executive to execute the amendment and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
All right, committee reports and consideration of resolutions for second reading and adoption under suspension. Now, this is the one where we're going to have the add-on, is that correct?
That is correct.
So do we need the motion to suspend now? As to item 0126 and the add-on, and actually all of these and the add-on, is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes, all items under number
Okay.
D, and then including the walk-on, which was Resolution 2014-0125.
Gallagher?
Madam President, I move to suspend the rule.
I moved by Mr. Gallagher and seconded by Mr. Jermaine to suspend Rule 9D to require a third reading. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. Madam Clerk.
Okay, we'll start off by reading into the record Resolution number 2014-0125, a resolution authorizing the transfer of certain county properties to the Board of Park Commissioners of the Cleveland Metropolitan Park District, authorizing the lease of certain county properties to said board, authorizing the county executive to take all necessary actions and to execute all documents necessary to consummate the contemplated transactions, authorizing the Director of Public Works to administer the project, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Move to adopt.
Moved by Mr. Sharon and seconded by Ms. Conwell. Any discussion on this item? We had discussions on this item in the committee of the whole. So all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the matter is adopted. All right, so you're going to go back to 0126 now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Resolution number 2014-0126, a resolution authorizing a second amendment to a hangar lease agreement with Eaton Corporation for the period June 1, 2003 through May 31, 2013, to exercise an option to extend the time period to May 31, 2018, and to change the per annum fee to the county from $112,145 to $116,167.64, authorizing the county executive to execute the amendment and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Jones and seconded by, Ms. Conwell. All right, anybody want to be heard on this item?
Madam President, the Eaton Corporation has several lease agreements with the county airport to store airplanes. This is an extension of that lease. This 5-year extension will help the county close the gap between our revenues and expenses, and I recommend this for approval.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jones. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Mr. Greenspan's going to abstain. All right, next item, 0127.
Recusal.
Yeah, recusal, that's right, rather than abstain, you're right.
Resolution number 2014-0127, a resolution making an award on requisition number 30134 to Professional Service Industries Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $862,232 for testing and inspection services for the Convention Center Hotel project for the period May 27, 2014 through December 31, 2016, authorizing the county executive to execute the contract and all other documents consistent with said award and this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Move to adopt.
Moved by Mr. Schron and seconded by Ms. Conwell. Any discussion on this item?
Madam President,
Yes.
just a question under the resolution. It talks about the funding is coming out of the general fund. I just want clarity that the funding will ultimately come out of the bond proceeds. Is that, I don't know, Mr. Parks or whomever, just to address that issue?
I don't know if there's anyone here from finance.
Well, Mr. Parks is.
Oh, I didn't see him, I'm sorry.
I just want to confirm funding is through the, just confirm funding is coming ultimately through the bond proceeds and not solely out of the general fund.
Okay, which page? I'm sorry.
This is on the agenda,
Page
page
9.
182, or on the front page of the resolution 2014-0127. The third whereas, it says the funding shall be 100% of the general fund.
Right, that is correct. That would be coming out of bond proceeds.
Okay, would it be appropriate in the future, or is it okay to list it that way with the understanding that the proceeds, bond proceeds will be used to satisfy this obligation?
Right, we could certainly do that.
Okay, great, thank you.
Okay.
All right, thank you,
All right, any other questions? All right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Resolution number 2014-0128, a resolution making an award on requisition number 30047 to the C.A. Agresta Construction Company in the amount not to exceed $904,764.90 for repair and resurfacing of Harvard Avenue from Newburgh Heights West Corporation Line to East 54th Street in the Village of Newburgh Heights, authorizing the county executive to execute the contract and all other documents consistent with said award and this resolution, authorizing the county engineer on behalf of the county executive to make an application for allocation from county motor vehicle $7.50 license tax funds in said amount to fund said contract, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Move to adopt.
Moved by Mr. Jones and seconded by Ms. Conwell. Did you want to be heard on this, Mr. Jones?
Madam President, this project in Newburgh Heights is considered by the city an economic development project. The Alcoa Steel Company is in the general area, among other companies. There's a lot of heavy truck traffic that really puts wear and tear on the roads. The road is graded in a very fair condition, and it's actually one of the last few of our moratorium projects. There's still a few more to come, but I do ask for my colleagues' support on this resolution.
Jones, anything else? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it.
Resolution number 2014-0129, a resolution making an award on requisition number 29932 to Roniak Paving Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $2,099,283.40 for 2014 resurfacing operations group 2 in various municipalities, authorizing the county executive to execute the contract and all other documents consistent with said award and this resolution, authorizing the county engineer on behalf of the county executive to make an application for allocation from county motor vehicle $7.50 license tax funds in said amount to fund said contract, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective for the projects and in the municipalities as printed on the agenda, items 4, 1, and 2.
Move to adopt.
Moved by Mr. Jones and seconded by Ms. Conwell. Mr. Jones?
These two roads are rated fair and poor, and this actually came in 28% below our estimated bid. So we don't know if it was just a good time to bid, as far as there was a lot of companies seeking work, but we did come in 28% under our estimated bid, and I do recommend this for approval.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it.
Resolution number 2014-0131, a resolution making an award on requisition number 27440 to AT&T Corporation in the amount not to exceed $551,700 for measured business line services for the period June 1, 2014 through December 31, 2018, authorizing the county executive to execute the contract and all other documents consistent with said award and this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Move to adopt.
Moved by Mr. Miller and seconded by Ms. Conwell. Did you want to be heard on this, Mr. Miller?
Madam President and my colleagues, this and the next three items are communications contracts with AT&T that run from 6/1 of 14 through December 31st of 2018 for a total cost not to exceed $5,630,000, covering measured business lines, Centrex service, SIP trunk lines for voice over internet Protocol, or VoIP, and standard long distance. VoIP is currently the most cost-effective way to provide telephone service, and we are migrating as much as possible of our communication services to that method to achieve lower costs and greater efficiency. These contracts were all reviewed and recommended by Finance and Budget Committee, and I ask for your support of the 4 resolutions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Anything else? All right, all's in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Resolution number 2014-0132, a resolution making an award on requisition number 27440 to AT&T Corporation in the amount not to exceed $2,382,000 for Centrex telephone and Centrex messaging services for the period June 1, 2014 through December 31, 2018, authorizing the county executive to execute the contract and all other documents consistent with said award and this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Move to adopt.
Moved by Mr. Miller and seconded by Ms. Conwell. And Mr. Miller adopts by reference his former comments. Any questions on this item? All's in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Resolution number 2014-0133, a resolution making an award on requisition number 27440 to AT&T Corporation in the amount not to exceed $2,396,160 for session initiation protocol and transport services for the period June 1, 2014 through December 31, 2018, authorizing the county executive to execute the contract and all other documents consistent with said award and this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Move to adopt.
Moved by Mr. Miller and seconded by Ms. Conwell. Any discussion, questions? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Resolution number 2014-0134, a resolution making an award on requisition number 27440 to AT&T Corporation in the amount not to exceed $300,000 for long-distance services for the period June 1, 2014 through December 31, 2018, authorizing the county executive to execute the contract and all other documents consistent with said award and this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Move to adopt.
Moved by Mr. Miller and seconded by Ms. Simon. Any discussion on this item? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Resolution number 2014-0136, a resolution authorizing a contract with Federal Express Corporation, FedEx Ground Package System Incorporated, and FedEx Corporate Services Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $1,760,000 for transportation carrier services for the period June 1, 2014 through May 31, 2015, authorizing the county executive to execute the contract and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Move to adopt.
I don't know who, Mr. Gallagher's committee, yeah, Mr. Gallagher and seconded by Mr. Germana. Do you want to be heard, Mr. Gallagher?
Thank you, Madam President. In our committee, we had an in-depth presentation from the clerk of courts in this furthering of modernization and streamlining of the clerk's office. This will not only save money, but time, and the success rate of actual delivery of these mailings will be extremely higher than what they are now.
You mean people don't go to the post office and pick up their mail when they get a certified letter?
Well, I think now they think they're going to win the lottery or something instead of certified from the post office.
Okay.
Madam President, just a quick question. Is this to substitute for certified mailing to serve summons?
Yes.
Just to note that Summit County has been doing this for a while, and I hope there's some education to the litigants that this does not, the civil rules don't necessarily, there's case law saying this is not good service, but I just want to put that out there. So there's some technicalities that I can talk to the clerk about, but Summit's been doing
The
it.
clerk is
It's
here.
here. Do you wanna-
We went very in
I'm not going to take up time
in-depth
tonight.
and
Yeah,
mentioned
did
that
that come up about the case?
Other counties are doing this. And
They are, but there's some case law saying that it's not under, since the rule doesn't say that's a mode of service, that there's been litigation over that. But I'll talk to the clerk at a different point, so.
And actually, it was interesting. We got to a point where I think we're moving forward in showing the state legislature that it's time to modernize the requirements of legal mailings. It was really shocking at how many the United States Post Office let go and don't follow up on.
Rules aren't keeping up.
Right.
That's right.
We recommend
Okay.
everybody vote for it.
Okay, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the ayes have it. All right, item 6, consideration of resolution for third reading adoption.
Resolution number 2014-0103, a resolution authorizing a contract with National Council for Community Development Incorporated, doing business as National Development Council, in the amount not to exceed $2,132,000 for administration and capitalization of the Grow Cuyahoga County Fund for the period January 1, 2014 through December 31, 2015. Authorizing an agreement with Cuyahoga County Community Improvement Corporation for fiscal agent services in connection with said fund for the period November 19, 2013 through December 31, 2016. Authorizing the county executive to execute the contract and agreement and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Adopt.
Moved by Mr. Shrine and seconded by Ms. Conwell. Anybody want to be heard on this?
Just briefly, this is an extension of the National Council for Community Development to open up a loan fund that will help support the small business administration loans out there. And combined in this same piece of legislation is the access to the professionals that will be out there working on behalf of these as far as these public funds as they go into action. So I would encourage everyone to support this. And again, another tool for our small business administration and job growth here in Northeastern Ohio.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Shrine. Any other questions or comments? All right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it.
Resolution number 2014-0115, a resolution adopting various changes to the Cuyahoga County non-bargaining classification plan and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Conwell and seconded by Mr. Shrine. You want to be heard on this, Ms. Conwell?
Yes, Madam Chair, this is just a reminder. This is third reading. This particular resolution is 11 modified classifications for the IT department and 20 new classifications. The employees that are currently will move right into these classifications. So I asked council to pass this.
All right, any questions? All right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it.
Resolution number 2014-0122, a resolution approving the Metro Health System's request to establish and operate a healthcare facility in the city of Brunswick, Medina County, Ohio, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Moved by Ms. Conwell and seconded by Mr. Germana. All right, any comments on this item? I think that the people from Metro are here. This will actually expand the services of Metro Hospital into a facility in Brunswick. And I think we've discussed it in committee. Is there any other questions or comments about it?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I would just comment that the primary purposes are to provide convenient services for employees of Cuyahoga County who are on Metro and who live in that area, and so it will provide for greater convenience and access of service.
Okay. All right. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Corlett, for coming in. All right. Any miscellaneous business? I'm going to start down this end. And
Yep, thank you, Madam President. Today, we had two items presented. One was a charter amendment, and just to reiterate to council, through the month of June, we will be preparing the charter amendments proposals that various council members have brought forward. They'll be introduced at the June 24th meeting, and the council president, I will set the calendar for July and August for committees of the whole to review proposed charter amendments. So I just want to lay out the process there. And the item referred to committee, I will establish a committee meeting for that. I'm not hearing of any urgency for it, so we will probably get to that towards the end of June as well.
thank you, Mr. Miller.
Madam Madam Chair and my colleagues, first of all, I'd like to commend my colleagues, Councilwoman Conwell and Councilmember Germana and Brady, for their leadership in the measure for the Hearing and Speech Center that we passed earlier today, which will provide an important service for our residents. And the next meeting of the Finance and Budget Committee will be this coming Monday, June 2nd at 1 p.m. That is our regular time. If anybody has further comments or questions about the first quarter review, we will hear them at that time, and also a couple pieces of legislation. Thank you.
Anything else? Well,
Human Resources Appointment and Equity will be June 3rd at 10 a.m. A lot of items on the agenda, and it's the only HRAE meeting for the month.
anyone else?
Madam President, the Public Works Committee will meet Wednesday, June 4th at 11 a.m. to deal with the items referred today.
Madam President, I'll get to committee members on the one item we have.
Any public comment unrelated to the agenda?
Madam Chair, there is none.
Okay, and we have report of the clerk for council items, legislation withdrawn.
Yeah, basically, this is required under council's rules that I put these on council's agenda. These are items that are being withdrawn at the request of the sponsors.
And those are the items that are being withdrawn. Okay, if I talk fast, we'll get out of here by 6 o'clock. We have our next meeting on June the 10th, and at 3 o'clock, we will have a committee of the whole. And the purpose of that committee of the whole meeting will be to discuss this whole discussion about demolition of vacant and abandoned properties. We will receive a presentation from Mr. Frank Ford, Chair of the Vacant and Abandoned Property Action Council, regarding vacancies and blight affecting Cuyahoga County as a result of the foreclosure crisis. This will be the first in a series of meetings for gathering information and establishing a solid understanding of the issues involved. Therefore, we will not be discussing specific proposals which have been suggested to address the problem just yet. This will be an important meeting. I believe that the members should be on the same page in terms of the basic concepts. So this is going to be, this whole demolition thing is going to be a fairly long process, and we really got to lay the foundation and discuss all the various aspects and ramifications of it. So I just see this as our first meeting, and eventually we'll be, drilling down and working on some details, but we got a lot of information to gather before we start getting into the details of this process, because it affects many areas of the county in different ways, and there's just a lot there to discuss. So that will be our June 10th meeting. And is there anything else for the good of the order?
President, just Maltz Museum essay contest at 3,600 submissions, so top dog. I think we've got a couple years to get that many, but we'll work on it and get more judges from this council.
I have to really say a lot of good things about the Maltz Museum. I was there a few years ago when it was free on Martin Luther King Day, but then I actually went back for another presentation, and then actually I think I got like an hour CLE or something, but they really have some good things at the Maltz Museum, so I recommend everyone going there when they get a chance. Centrally located in the city of Beechwood. Okay, anything else for the good of the order? Okay, we stand adjourned.